How's it going?
Good morning.
4:30 Psycho Accountability Call, 10-minute call. It's not a coaching call. This is just us holding ourselves accountable. If you want to check it out, 430psycho.com. The QR code takes you to the tracker that we all use to track everything that we're doing the night before and our time for this day. One of the things that I wanted, I was thinking about a lot because I've been coached and I've been a coach, and it's a really interesting process in your, when you get to a certain level of success in business, and then you go into a conference or an event, and you get really moved by, the leader of a coaching company, and so much so, and they call it back of the room guys. So much so that you go to the back of the room and you want to sign up because you're going to get some free stuff. Some of these. Not some of these, all of these guys are, first off, amazing salespeople. A lot of them are great to good speakers. That's their platform. The hook is they mentally trigger you and you get excited and you're here and you want to go here. You want to go to this next level, and they've hit the nerve that are like, okay, this is the person that is going to take me there. What you don't really fully understand, though, is this person that has just spoken to you has done this 1,000+ times and have gotten really, really good at, getting people like you that are in different places, whether you're just starting out and want to get really big or you're big, you want to get more profitable. And, I was just thinking through like the psychology of coaching and the lack of ethics actually because we have ethics in our business. And one of the things that happens, so you don't have a lifestyle framework. You're not organized. You don't have time to fit in the things that you're doing now. But there's a better way, and you've got activated. You're going to buy this coaching, and it could be very expensive too. And mixed in there is something about time blocking, right? Which I believe, like, if you can't. Because we've all done things where we've bought courses or workshops or things and never even touched it, right? Like we've been to events, we've got excited, we've bought something, whether it was a $600 set of CDs or a continuing coaching thing. And the fact is, a lot of people, even including myself, regardless of how well your intentions are and how excited and motivated you were, you haven't figured out how to hold yourself accountable yet and how to move things around. And you could go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months without even implementing anything. Like you fight it. Your subconscious habits just will fight it because you haven't really so the precursor, I think, to anybody in a coaching program, and coaching companies will do about 10% of the business because the coaching companies know that regardless of what this person's paying, they're probably not going to do much the first 5, 6, 7 sessions until they finally decide that they're going to hold themselves accountable because they're spending so much money. The fact that you're spending a couple $1,000s a month in my case will finally activate you to say, oh my God, I have to stop fighting this. I gotta figure it out. In reality, truly, if you wanted to make big impact on people, you would only onboard people that have proven or shown, or that the first 3 months were all about holding yourself accountability. And because it's a huge hurdle to making the changes that you're being coached. So the 430 Cycle Challenge, we're not selling anything, nothing. But it does prove to yourself that you can hold yourself accountable. So I think if you can go through something like this, or if you can hold yourself accountable to stop, getting into the gym every day for 3 months, or stop, like getting your diet fixed, or you can make change. But if you don't have a track record of making change, and you're going to end up spending a lot of money, just like a lot of us have, on self-improvement. The self-improvement business knows if they can get into that, I'm here and I want to get here, and resonate with you, they got you, and you're going to spend a lot of money. What do you think about that, Ron?
I think this is where you plug the merch shop.
Nobody's bought anything in that merch.
I'm only kidding.
That merch shop was so.
I like that gear.
Yeah, no, I think I'm the only one that's bought anything in there. I set it up because I wanted to set up an online store.
Actually, I duplicated. I like the whole. I like the shop. The shirt was from it for our team. That was one of the things that we built out here. We kind of copied that, and did some things for our team as well.
See,
So
didn't even pay thousands of dollars a month to get that idea. And
there you go.
Yeah, but if anybody bought stuff from there, the profit of it would go to St. Francis Community Center.
By the way, we did the same thing. So we structured ours with a nominal profit, but we're doing ours to the Oakland County Animal Shelter, which last year we paid for the adoption of probably 50 pets or so. When people go to check out, they find out that we covered the sponsor, the adoption for them, and then they in turn, kind of pay it forward. And that's just something that somebody on my team wanted to start. We always did stuff with Children's Miracle Network, and she donates her time to an animal shelter, and she wanted to do that. So then I started to match and compound her effort, and so we helped more dogs. And then we decided to set up this merch shop. I know this is in a completely different direction, but it was one of the things that kind of came out of this, working together. It was like, being able to replicate something and do some good with it. So.
Yeah, I when I was being coached, I think I went 6 months before I could really implement anything, and that was like $12,000 later of, so the whole thing I was talking about, I don't know, I'm just doing on the fact that it's such a it probably works for immediately for less than 20% of the people that actually buy self-improvement. It's kind of like going to the gym.
I totally agree with you. Like, you and I have gone to a lot of the same conferences, and we'll run into people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm coaching with them too. And I'm like, how's it going? They're like, oh, I'm not really implementing the things. Right. So yes, I've hired and worked with a lot of the coaches, and a lot of them have taken different formats. Right. And also, I think depending on where you're at or how committed you are to different areas, sometimes some of them are very one side focused, like just business, right? Where a lot of people that join it are really looking for instruction in other areas of their life. A lot of the people that join coaching already have the coaching down. They're making enough money. They don't need more money. They need direction in other areas, and they just get up and do what's muscle memory, right? They don't follow the systems because they've already been successful fumbling through it on their own or doing it their own way. So they'd probably be better off reading The E-Myth by Michael Gerber than, hiring a coach, because they should just work on systems, to allow them to have extraordinary results predictably.
Yeah, but and even reading that book, if you can't hold yourself accountable. So all I'm saying is there's a qualifier to coaching.
Yeah.
And if the qualifier is that you can actually adjust, like, for instance, like a lifestyle framework, like where am I going to implement all of these new things? Where am I going to find the time to do this? And if you don't, it doesn't happen. Just like anything that you take on and you don't get it into your schedule, and then you don't move your schedule so that you can stick to it. It doesn't work. So I'm not really bashing coaching companies, because they wouldn't be in business if all of them only hired people that held themselves accountable. I'm just saying accountability is that core level, almost like when you're building a house, you got to have an architect, build the plans. Like, if you're trying to implement all these things before you can adjust and hold yourself accountable, it's a waste of money. So I'm just saying, I feel like I think it's something that before all of these next level up concepts get thrown at you every coaching session. And I'm not even talking about real estate. I'm talking about any coaching, because I've been in a few different, like the lifestyle coaching and things like that it has to be super heavy on accountability up front.
Well, which coach is it that says this? Is this Buffini or is this Workman? But the statement is everybody wants it. It's Buffini. Everybody wants accountability until they get some.
Yeah.
Until they what?
Until they get some.
Right.
And then when
Yeah.
they start to get some, they're like, "Oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this. I'm an independent contractor. Don't tell me what to do." That we're rebellious by nature, and I think a lot of the people, including me at times, right, or just don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my own way or tweak it, or But it just comes down to doing the basics, right?
Right.
Having a plan, doing the basics, making progress, and
Yeah.
chipping away at it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm still in with this book, but Susan Scott with Fierce Conversations, she talks deeply about very similar to what you're talking about, Ron, and that is like with the coaches. There's different levels, and the coaches that really find what the root of your issue is, or what's really important to you, or what you're having a hard time with, versus just coaching you at like, hey man, these are the systems that what do you want to implement? And then they, try to help you implement those systems. They don't necessarily find out like what is the true importance of, why you're doing the coaching, what it's needed for. So, I've run into that early on, but the accountability part, one of the most, with the discipline and everything, and it's really getting into that daily rhythm, that cadence that works, and then and having time. But
Before you backfill anything into it. So that's not like if you had if you could go back in time after you've been coached for 3 or 4 months to realize all of these concepts are stacking up because you never found time to, and it just gets, so you were real busy, and the problem that you were trying to fix is there. And then it's difficult. And all I'm saying is there should be more emphasis on, because coaching companies want to coach a lot of people, make a lot of money, right? If it went more to the true essence of serving your client, you would spend more time in the accountability part. And look, at the end of the day, if like somebody can't, whether if they can't hold themselves accountable to making time for what they're being coached, they're just not a good candidate for coaching, because they're gonna, you're gonna run into them at a conference and say, yeah, I coached without people, for a year, and it didn't work, and I couldn't implement anything. So I'm still doing the same stuff I always did, kind of thing, right? And I'm not talking about any coaching company. I'm just talking in general about accountability. Like I would have just way more emphasis on how you have to look. You got kids, you got this, you got all these problems, and personal problems, business problems, but unless you do something drastic and find the time, I think like this is if you buy the merch. No, I'm kidding. Something like this is a great thing to do, to say, you know what, because you can backfill anything. Like if you can hold yourself accountable, like it's like going to the gym without a trainer, right? You don't, like some people, I need a trainer. Then, then they're paying like $100 trainer sessions and not even showing up because they're out drinking or whatever. I know so many people who have done that. They're like, okay, I'm going to pay somebody to make me work out. And then they miss those training sessions, So anyways, I don't know.
I think anybody, I think just in general, right? Like, I think some people can self-implement, right? I think that they can. I think anybody will do better with somebody doing it with them, holding the mirror, holding them accountable, right? And saying, you can do one more. We really don't know how far we can take something until somebody else helps us to explore, just going a little bit further. And that's all it is. And at the core of this, I appreciate knowing that you guys will be there in the morning for me to get up and make sure that I'm doing what I'm, committed to doing. And for me, I've been very clear, mine's a reallocation of my time, of how I spend it throughout the day. I'm stacking a lot of what I would be, interrupting the rest of the day into the morning, so it's not taking from the other time. But, it's allowing me to focus on things that I wanted to without affecting other areas of my life. And that's what I've really gotten out of this.
We've hit our time. So,
Right.
Rob, do you want to say something real quick?
No, agreed. Well said. So I love it.
See you guys tomorrow.